What if I told you that one of the most potent secrets to revitalizing your leg strength, especially if you've been battling that frustrating slowness, weakness, or relentless fatigue, isn't hidden in an expensive gym membership or a magic pill? Imagine for a moment that the key to unlocking renewed power in your legs, the kind that allows you to climb stairs with ease, maintain your balance confidently, and feel truly independent, lies right within your own kitchen. It sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? Yet, cutting-edge research is revealing that a single, readily available food, when consumed at precisely the right time and in a specific strategic combination, can kickstart the process of rejuvenating your neuromuscular performance in as little as 12 hours. If you've ever felt your energy flagging or your legs not responding like they used to, and chalked it up to just getting older, you're about to discover a game-changing truth that could transform not just your physical capabilities, but your entire outlook on aging and vitality. Don't let this revolutionary insight pass you by. The power to feel stronger and more alive is closer than you think. Let's dive straight into a truly startling revelation, unearthed by a 2023 study published in the prestigious Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Picture this. Individuals over the age of 50, after consuming a particular nutrient-rich dietary approach the evening before, showed measurable improvements in muscle protein synthesis and mitochondrial activity by the very next morning. These aren't just fancy scientific terms. They represent the very biological engines that power your energy levels and muscle recuperation, especially in your legs. Our legs are often the first alarm bell, signaling a decline in strength and vitality as the years go by. This isn't merely about aesthetics or mobility. It strikes at the heart of something far more fundamental: your independence, your self-confidence, and your enduring capacity to engage with life fully. When leg strength wanes, everything changes. Climbing stairs becomes a monumental task, balance becomes precarious, and overall energy levels plummet. Many people resign themselves to this, believing it's an unavoidable consequence of aging. But here's the crucial insight: it's often not age itself that's the primary culprit. The more significant drivers behind muscle mass decline are often chronic undernourishment at the cellular level, persistent low-grade inflammation, and circadian rhythms that have fallen out of sync. In essence, it's less about your calendar age and more about your biological age. And the good news is, you have more control over your biology than you might think. It all comes down to what you eat, when you eat it, and how these choices interact with your intricate neurological and muscular systems. For decades, the prevailing belief was that muscle loss with age was primarily due to atrophy, a simple shrinking of muscle fibers from disuse or declining hormone levels. However, modern neuroscience is painting a far more nuanced and, frankly, more optimistic picture, one that empowers us with actionable strategies. Here's what researchers are now uncovering. What you might perceive as lost muscle could, in reality, simply be disconnected muscle. Groundbreaking research indicates that as early as our 40s, the motor neurons, those critical communication lines connecting your brain and spinal cord to your muscles, particularly in the legs, can begin to degenerate or lose their efficiency. This disconnect results in a diminished volume of electrical signaling. In plain English, your muscles aren't receiving the full, clear command to contract. The muscle tissue itself might still be there, perfectly capable, but it's essentially idling, not fully engaged. A landmark study from the University of Calgary highlighted that many adults experiencing a decline in leg strength still possess the structural potential for robust muscle activity. The core issue lay in the transmission of neuromuscular signals. The muscle wasn't dead, it was merely dormant, which excitingly means it can be brought back online. Have you ever felt inexplicably unsteady when rising from a chair, or noticed your legs tiring out much faster than they used to, even if your routine hasn't changed? That's often not just aging, it's a tangible sign of this breakdown in neuronal connectivity. And the truly fantastic news: there are ways to repair it. Your spinal cord plays a pivotal role here, acting as more than just a relay station for movement commands. It relies on continuous, nutrient-driven support to maintain its data integrity. Think of your leg muscles as a team of skilled workers, and your nervous system as the foreman shouting instructions through a megaphone. If the megaphone's battery is weak, the workers can't perform optimally, but recharge that battery and the crew can get back to work with renewed vigor. One of the quickest ways to achieve this recharge is by supplying the neuromuscular junction, the precise point where your nerves connect with your muscles, with essential nutrients that restore signaling effectiveness. Certain amino acids, B vitamins, and acetylcholine precursors can make a significant improvement in this connection within just a few hours. The specific food we're homing in on is packed with these very components, meaning when you consume it, you're not just nourishing your muscles, you're actively reactivating them. Before you even worry about building more muscle, the first crucial step is to ensure your neural system is effectively utilizing the muscle you already possess. When it comes to leg weakness, signal quality often trumps muscle quantity. Once you've eaten, there's a critical window during which your body actively scans for signals. These aren't just caloric signals. They're molecular cues that instruct your body on what to do next. Among the most powerful of these signals is the amino acid leucine. Leucine is an essential amino acid, meaning your body can't produce it, so you absolutely must get it from your diet. But its importance stretches far beyond basic nourishment. In scientific circles, leucine is revered as an anabolic trigger. It essentially sends a direct message to your cells. It's time to grow and repair. Here's how it works. Leucine directly activates a cellular pathway known as mTOR, mammalian target of rapamycin. Think of mTOR as the master control tower for muscle protein synthesis, the process by which your body builds or repairs muscle tissue. If mTOR is the switch, leucine is the finger that decisively flips it on. This is incredibly significant, especially as we age, because our muscles tend to become more resistant to these anabolic growth signals. However, leucine possesses the remarkable ability to combat this resistance. A 2011 study in the Journal of Nutrition demonstrated that even in older adults, a single meal rich in leucine could dramatically boost mTOR activity and stimulate muscle protein synthesis. It's one of the few nutrients shown to have such a potent effect within hours. Have you ever eaten a protein-heavy meal, yet still felt that lingering fatigue or weakness in your legs? The issue might not be the amount of protein, but rather the quality of that protein in terms of its leucine content and the timing of its consumption. Many older individuals inadvertently consume just enough protein to prevent muscle breakdown, but not enough leucine to actively stimulate muscle growth. This is why the source and timing of your protein are paramount. A simple yet powerful strategy is to center your first major meal of the day around a leucine-rich food source. Animal proteins like eggs, beef, poultry, and especially whey protein are packed with leucine. Consuming just 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine, which can typically be found in about 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein, is often sufficient to activate the mTOR pathway and initiate muscle repair. For a particularly efficient method, whey protein isolate stands out as one of the most effective options, providing leucine and other essential amino acids in optimal proportions. This is why it's increasingly favored by athletes and clinicians working with older adults for rapid muscle function restoration. But remember, this isn't just about recovery, it's about reconnection. When you consume leucine-rich protein, more than just growth is happening. You are actively restoring a biochemical dialogue between your nervous system and your muscle fibers. The quicker that conversation picks up, the sooner your legs begin to feel stable, strong, and vibrantly alive once more. Every time you decide to move, to stand, to take a step, to rise from a chair, a signal originates in your brain. However, this signal doesn't directly zap your muscles into action. First, it's converted into a chemical messenger called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is the principal neurotransmitter responsible for neuromuscular transmission. It's the specific chemical that translates a thought in your brain into a physical action in your muscles. Without sufficient acetylcholine, your muscles simply won't fire as they should. They might respond sluggishly, misfire, or in some cases, barely respond at all. This becomes increasingly critical with each passing year, as both acetylcholine production and the sensitivity of its receptors tend to gradually decline, particularly in the motor neurons that innervate the legs. This is one of the underlying reasons why even minor lapses in balance or delayed muscle reactions become more common as people approach their senior years. But here's where the science gets exciting. Research has shown that choline, the precursor to acetylcholine, can rapidly restore this signaling capacity. A 2012 review in the journal Nutrients highlighted that increasing dietary choline intake can enhance acetylcholine production in as little as 6 to 12 hours, especially when the brain is actively demanding motor coordination. So what food delivers this powerful advantage? Eggs, and specifically egg yolks. They are nature's most abundant and bioavailable source of choline. Consuming just 2 whole eggs can provide over 300 milligrams of choline, which is then readily converted into acetylcholine, helping to refurbish that vital motor control pathway. This isn't just nutritional trivia, it's a practical, actionable protocol. If you're someone who experiences tremors, instability, decreased power when walking or standing, or if you've noticed your legs are slow to respond, try this straightforward morning routine. About 30 minutes after waking, consume 2 whole eggs, preferably alongside a leucine-rich protein like whey or cottage cheese. Why this timing? Acetylcholine synthesis tends to be naturally lower after sleep, and motor neurons are particularly receptive to nutritional input in the morning. You're essentially providing your body with the raw materials it needs to re-establish robust neuromuscular command at the precise moment it's most needed. Ever noticed how much more confident and steady your steps feel after a protein-rich breakfast? That's not a placebo, it's your central nervous system firing with greater accuracy. Choline does more than just support muscle. It upgrades the communication channel between your brain and your legs. And if you follow a plant-based diet or don't consume eggs, don't worry. Quinoa, Brussels sprouts, and soybeans are also good sources of choline, though egg yolks offer the highest bioavailability, meaning your body can absorb and utilize it most efficiently. One final note, acetylcholine isn't just for muscle activation. It also plays a significant role in learning, memory, and concentration. So, when you restore acetylcholine levels, you're enhancing both your physical control and your cognitive clarity. A true double win for positive aging. Imagine trying to cultivate a vibrant garden, but the hose supplying water is kinked and constricted. It doesn't matter how fertile the soil is or how much sunlight the plants receive. Without adequate water flow, they simply won't flourish. This is precisely what can happen inside your muscles, particularly in your legs as we age. The arteries and capillaries that deliver life-giving blood to our lower limbs often become more constricted and less responsive over time. When blood flow becomes restricted or inefficient, it severely hinders the delivery of oxygen, the transport of vital nutrients, and the removal of metabolic waste products, 3 absolutely essential components for optimal muscle function and recovery. The unfortunate result? That heavy, fatigued, or achy feeling in your legs, or a delayed response when you need them to act quickly, even if you're eating enough protein and getting some physical activity. Poor circulation can insidiously undermine your strength. The star player in regulating the dilation of your blood vessels is a molecule called nitric oxide, NO. Produced naturally in the endothelial cells, the cells lining your blood vessels, this gas essentially tells your blood vessels when to relax and widen, allowing more blood to flow through. And here's the amazing part. Nitric oxide production is heavily reliant on the foods you consume, and one of its most potent natural boosters is beets. Beets, especially when consumed raw or in juice form, are a rich source of dietary nitrates, which your body cleverly converts into nitric oxide. A compelling 2015 study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that older adults who ingested beetroot juice experienced a significant boost in leg muscle power within just a few hours of consumption. This improvement was particularly noticeable in fast-twitch muscle fibers, which are critical for maintaining balance, reacting quickly, and preventing falls. These weren't marginal gains. In real-world movement tests like walking speed, chair stand tests, and even stair climbing, the benefits were substantial enough to be clearly measurable. Here's a simple tool you can use. About 90 minutes before engaging in any kind of physical activity, whether it's a walk, a gym session, or even just a period where you know you'll be on your feet a lot, consume 1 to 2 medium-sized beets, or drink about 250 to 300 ml, around 8 to 10 Oz of beetroot juice. This timing allows the nitrates to convert into nitric oxide and begin enhancing vasodilation. Want to take it to the next level? Combine this with about 20 minutes of light activity, like a brisk walk, light cycling, or some dynamic stretching. Movement itself is a powerful stimulant of nitric oxide generation, especially when your body is already primed with dietary nitrates. It's like simultaneously increasing the water pressure and ensuring the hose is unkinked. While some might worry about the sugar content in beets, their glycemic load is relatively modest, and the performance benefits, especially when consumed before activity, often far outweigh any concerns about a temporary spike in blood sugar. You can also pair beets with a source of protein or some fiber-rich greens to help moderate this. There's a silent saboteur that could be undermining your leg strength from the inside out, even if you can't feel it directly. It's like a low, consistent hum in the background. I'm talking about persistent, low-grade inflammation. This isn't the acute, obvious inflammation you experience after an injury. Chronic inflammation is subtle, systemic, and gradually erodes muscle function over time, particularly impacting the legs. The research is clear. Even low levels of chronic inflammation can significantly reduce your muscle's ability to regenerate, gain strength, and improve coordination. A 2020 study published in the Journals of Gerontology found that elevated levels of inflammatory markers, specifically C-reactive protein, CRP, and interleukin-6, IL-6, were strongly associated with decreased muscle mass and strength in older adults. This held true even when participants' levels of physical activity and overall nutrition appeared to be adequate. So what's happening inside your body during this inflammatory state? Inflammation directly interferes with muscle protein synthesis, increases oxidative stress, which damages cells, and disrupts the function of mitochondria, those crucial energy factories within your muscle cells. Furthermore, it hampers your nervous system's ability to effectively recruit muscle fibers, meaning that even if the muscle is present, the signal to activate it becomes weaker and less effective. Now, here comes the empowering part. One of the most potent tools we have for extinguishing this ongoing fire isn't found in the supplement aisle, but right in your produce drawer. Enter dark leafy greens. Think spinach, kale, arugula, Swiss chard, and mustard greens. These nutritional powerhouses are more than just vitamin-rich, they are incredibly effective inflammation fighters. They boast high concentrations of polyphenols like quercetin, chlorophyll, magnesium, and nitrate, all of which are known to support your body's ability to down-regulate inflammatory pathways. Specifically, the polyphenol quercetin, found abundantly in mustard greens and kale, has been shown to directly inhibit inflammatory cytokines like IL-6 and TNF-alpha. A 2019 study in Frontiers in Pharmacology indicated that daily consumption of quercetin-rich foods could lower inflammation markers within just 2 to 4 weeks, especially when combined with moderate exercise. A simple, science-backed regimen is to incorporate at least 1 cup of dark leafy greens into your first meal of the day. Why the first meal? It helps set an anti-inflammatory tone for your entire circadian rhythm, the internal clock that governs your immune and hormonal responses. To enhance your body's absorption of fat-soluble antioxidants like vitamin K and beta-carotene from these greens, try combining them with a source of healthy fat, such as a drizzle of olive oil or a few slices of avocado. You could also add a squeeze of lemon or a splash of apple cider vinegar to aid digestion and nutrient uptake. It's important to note that these foods don't act like instant painkillers. You won't feel an immediate dramatic shift, but over time, perhaps as little as 10 to 14 days, you may start to notice less discomfort, quicker recovery from activity, more stable energy, and a rejuvenated feeling of power in your legs. This is where nutrition transcends mere fuel and becomes a powerful signaling system, letting your body know it's safe to dial down the inflammatory response and focus on rebuilding and strengthening. When it comes to rebuilding and maintaining leg strength, especially as we navigate the aging process, what you eat is undoubtedly crucial, but when you eat can be just as significant, if not more so in many cases. Understand this. Every time you consume a meal containing protein, you trigger a biological process known as muscle protein synthesis, MPS. This is your body's green light for repairing damaged muscle tissue and building new, stronger muscle. Essentially, your body is saying, okay, let's grow. The challenge, however, is that as we get older, the strength of that grow signal can diminish due to a phenomenon called anabolic resistance. This means your muscles become less responsive to the protein you consume. Even if you're eating what seems like an adequate amount of protein overall, your body might not be utilizing it fully to repair and build muscle tissue effectively. So what's the solution? The research offers a clear path. Distributing protein-rich meals more evenly throughout the day, starting with a substantial serving at breakfast, can significantly improve muscle preservation and growth, particularly in the legs and lower body. A pivotal 2014 study from the University of Texas revealed that individuals who consumed nearly equivalent amounts of protein at breakfast, lunch, and dinner experienced muscle protein synthesis rates that were a remarkable 25% higher than those who skewed their protein intake heavily towards their evening meal. Why such a difference? Because each meal served as a distinct and effective stimulus for muscle growth, keeping the grow signal consistently strong throughout the day. Furthermore, this effect can be amplified, especially in older adults, by timing protein consumption within 30 to 60 minutes of light exercise or even a brisk walk. This period is often referred to as the anabolic window, a time when your muscle cells are particularly receptive to nutrients and can rapidly uptake amino acids for rebuilding. Here's a straightforward and highly applicable protocol. First, make sure your first meal of the day includes at least 30 grams of high-quality protein. This could look like a cup of Greek yogurt topped with hemp seeds and berries, or perhaps 3 eggs served with sautéed spinach and a side of lentils. Second, after any form of physical activity, be it a dedicated workout, a simple walk, or a stretching session, aim to consume a meal or snack containing both protein and complex carbohydrates within about an hour. Examples include a smoothie made with protein powder and a banana, or a small plate of quinoa with beans and a drizzle of olive oil. The carbohydrates help stimulate insulin, a hormone that enhances nutrient uptake, thereby improving the efficiency with which amino acids are transported into your muscle cells. And third, avoid stacking all your protein at dinner. While it might be tempting to save your largest protein portion for the evening, research indicates that your muscles can only effectively utilize a certain amount of protein at one time, typically around 30 to 40 grams for MPS. Any excess beyond that is often oxidized for energy or stored, rather than being used for muscle building. By optimizing the timing and distribution of your meals, you're not just feeding your muscles, you're actively communicating with them, sending a consistent message to stay strong, active, and vibrantly alive. If you've journeyed this far, you've already taken the most crucial step, acquiring knowledge. You now understand that regaining leg strength, even noticing improvements within a remarkably short time frame like 12 hours, isn't a far-fetched dream. It's a physiological reality when you learn to collaborate effectively with your body's natural mechanisms instead of working against them. Let's quickly recap the powerful science-backed concepts we've explored. Nitric oxide is the vital molecule that supercharges blood flow to your legs, delivering essential oxygen, nutrients, and energy right where they're needed most. Without it, muscles can feel starved and unresponsive, and beets, particularly in concentrated forms, are one of nature's most potent nitric oxide promoters, capable of producing measurable improvements in leg blood flow and performance within hours. We've also seen how the health of your endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels, is critical for muscle oxygenation, and how foods rich in nitrates, polyphenols, and antioxidants can literally help reboot this system. Your fast twitch muscle fibers, especially prevalent in your legs, while susceptible to age-related decline, are also astonishingly responsive to positive changes in blood flow, targeted nutrition, and neurological input. The gut-muscle axis reveals that what you eat profoundly influences not just digestion, but also the communication pathways between your brain and muscles. And finally, the strategic timing of your meals, particularly when synchronized with physical activity, helps to overcome anabolic resistance and keeps your muscle-building machinery firing on all cylinders. The consistent theme here is that your body is designed for adaptation and possesses an incredible innate desire to regenerate. The challenge and the opportunity lies in providing it with the right inputs at the right times and in the right combinations. So, here is your simple, unambiguous, and highly effective next step. Beginning tomorrow morning, kickstart your day with a smoothie that incorporates beetroot, fresh, powdered, or juiced. Include a quality protein source like Greek yogurt or a vegan alternative such as pea protein powder. Shortly after drinking it, go for a brisk 15-minute walk. This combination primes your blood vessels, triggers nitric oxide release, and initiates muscle signaling. Then, within 30 to 60 minutes of that walk, consume a balanced, protein-rich breakfast. The science is compelling. Even seemingly small interventions, a single nutrient, a short walk, a well-timed meal, can produce rapid, measurable changes in how your body performs and how you feel. This is especially true for your legs, which are not just your foundation for movement, but also a mirror reflecting your overall metabolic health and vitality. This isn't just about leg strength, it's about building momentum. As you consistently apply these techniques, you'll begin to notice something subtle yet profound. It's not just that your legs feel stronger, you'll feel more capable, more invigorated, more steady, and ultimately more like your true vibrant self. Give this regimen a try and witness the transformation for yourself.